Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Investor Financing Podcast. I'm your host, Beau, and today we have a fantastic show. It's not just me talking today. I think it's going to be a good conversation about wholesale and technology and putting it all together and growing your business as a real estate investor. So please welcome Paul. I'm saying it wrong again. Wakim.
Wakim. That's right. You got him like wake him
Paul
up.
Wakim. I don't know why it's hard for me to say Wakim.
It's hard for everybody.
He's the CEO and co-founder of TwnSqr. And TwnSqr, we're going to learn about TwnSqr because it's an amazing technology and platform, which is going to kind of innovate the whole wholesale business. You're going to be able to kind of be a one-stop shop on non-listed MLS properties to quickly sell and or assign properties for wholesale deals, or sell your rental properties without having to jump through hoops, finding the right end buyers, which is key, and then basically saving money on the whole transaction. Because at the end of the day, the more money we can save as investors, the better it is for everyone. So when I used to do a lot of flips in the Bay Area, I was a licensed broker, so I could, like when I was cherry picking off the MLS back when the market was very opportunistic.
Worth cherry picking.
Yeah, I could always save a percentage on the buy side, on the sell side. And so now what you've done is created an amazing platform which facilitates this at technology, and it's going to be good to kind of hear kind of the backstory. I understand you got your start in entrepreneurship in real estate space, and you actually had a photography company where you would, I guess, photo listings. Is that accurate?
Yeah. So when I graduated from college, my girlfriend at the time, now my wife, she bought me a drone for my graduation present. And it was back whenever Casey Neistat was really big on YouTube and was making a bunch of videos with his drone around New York City. And I was like, I gotta have a drone. So my girlfriend, now wife, bought me a drone, and I was flying it around with one of our friends one day, and he said, hey, my wife is a real estate agent. Drone photography is becoming a thing in the world of real estate agents. Will you go fly that thing around my wife's listing? And I said, yeah, sure, I'll do it. I'll do it for free. The 20 minutes after I was finished flying the drone, I drove down the street to see what other houses were in this beautiful neighborhood, and found a real estate agent, found her sign in the front yard of somebody's giant house, and called her and said, hey, I'm a drone photographer. Are you interested in drone photography? And she said, yes, I'm interested in drone photography, and I'm interested in interior photography. You can do all of that, right? And I said, of course I can. Granted, it was the first time I had ever flown a drone for a real estate client. Just turns out that lady that I called was the largest real estate agent in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area where I was at. And she proceeded to hire me to photograph 400 listings that year and introduce me to all of her friends. And we've grown what has become one of the largest real estate photography businesses on the East Coast from that business.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And do you still have that business?
Yeah, my wife runs that company.
Oh, wow. That's cool. That's really good.
Yeah.
All right. So then fast forward, how did the idea of TwnSqr happen?
Yeah. So I was a real estate photographer. I was photographing all of the houses for our clients. And then it got too big around 2017, 2018. And we hired a couple of photographers that really freed up some time for me to pursue what I became passionate about, which was real estate investing. I got my real estate agent license. And as I was helping people sell their houses and buying homes for my own portfolio, I had this realization, this very dumb now that I think back to it, but this aha moment of there's no real estate without a seller. Like nobody is going to buy and sell a house unless there's somebody who wants to sell some piece of real estate. So I had all these interactions with homeowners, and I heard all the same reasons whenever I was taking photos of their house, why they were selling. And it was usually the same 5 or 6 reasons. So the impetus for TwnSqr was I wanted to buy more properties for my portfolio, and I wanted to help my real estate agent friends and my real estate agent clients find more properties to sell. Plus, I knew all the reasons why people were selling their house. So I set out to create an algorithm to predict who was going to sell their house next. So I taught myself how to code. I woke up at 3 a.m. for 6 months straight and worked with a coach from Upwork that I found overseas, and he taught me how to code. And I built a very, very rudimentary algorithm to predict who was going to sell their house next in the Allegheny County market around Pittsburgh, PA. And then through some mutual friends and through rock climbing, I met my co-founder of TwnSqr. His name is Mitch. Mitch is a real coder. He has a computer science degree. And then we built a better version of that algorithm. And then unfortunately, COVID hit and all the data got screwed up. But building that algorithm and understanding how to code and getting into the world of technology was really the thing that opened the door to this massive idea that has become TwnSqr.
Awesome. So you enjoy rock climbing?
Oh yeah, man. It's something that I hope to do a lot more of one day.
I used to rock climb a lot, or no, I wouldn't say a lot. I used to rock climb a little bit. But as you get, I'm like been at the gym too much and gained too much muscle, right? So muscle bound. So it's so hard to do when you're 240 pounds, 5'9". Like it's,
yeah.
But it's amazing. Like when I go to the indoor rock climbing gyms to watch these guys, like it's just an amazing skill. And I kind of want to lean up and start rock climbing just indoors because I actually have a fear of heights. So when I was in my mid 20s, I went rock climbing. My uncle became friends with I think his name was Royal Robbins. I think he's deceased now.
Wow.
But yeah, and so he was he was like a client of my uncle's.
Wow.
And he got my uncle into rock climbing. So anyways, so my uncle and and a couple of us decided to go. It was outside of Santa Cruz somewhere, and we go rock climbing. And so it was my turn to climb. I was on belay, and so I started climbing up this rock. And I remember I got like 3/4 of the way up, and I was just, I don't like heights to begin with, and I was clenching the rock really hard.
Yeah, you just get locked up.
Yeah, and my forearms are just on fire.
Yeah.
And my uncle's, I remember seeing him on top. He's like, just relax, lean back, and just let the belay hold you up so you can relax. Well, anyways, it comes to find out the person that had me on belay below couldn't see me. They thought I was all the way up.
Oh.
And if I would have leaned back, I would have probably fallen to my death. And so an experienced climber saw it and like was just so pissed at everybody so ever since that, I've been like completely scared of heights. I mean, luckily I didn't lean back and fall because that would have been good.
Rightfully so. You're scared of heights. That's terrifying.
And but rock climbing to me is just the ultimate like workout and like the flexibility and the strength and being able to. I like when they do what's it called when you jump to the next one? Dyno. It's just amazing to watch.
Yeah, man. I always say that, I try to stay in shape, try to work out as much as I can whenever I can find the time. And, you have like go to the gym, do some bench press, do some pull-ups, like the regular bro lifts, if you will, the like regular workouts that everyone's aware of. And like, that's great. But to me, I really, really love rock climbing because it's not like, okay, I'm going to do 10 curls and then I'm done with that set. You can very clearly see, even if you're in a rock climbing gym, like there's a pink hold up there that I need to get to. And like, I keep falling. It's like a very tangible exercise that's right in front of your face rather than it being like, I'm going to put 315 on the bar and I'm going to squat it 10 times today. So yeah, we could sit here and talk about rock climbing all day. And I hope one day we can, whenever we're both maybe sitting back a little bit from this world of real estate. But right now I'm deep in real estate.
So let's talk about how, in a nutshell, what does TwnSqr do and how does it work?
Yeah. So after we developed that algorithm and COVID hit and all the different iterations of TwnSqr that we've gone through, what we've arrived at today and what we launched in July of this year is really a marketplace. And you described it well. It's like a marketplace for off-market properties. But we launched the original marketplace for off-market properties in November of 2021. And our tactic was, we're just a marketplace. We're just a bucket for everybody to throw their off-market deals into. It doesn't matter what the quality is. It doesn't matter what the quality of the person is. Let's just get all the off-market properties on. And then November 2021 through like the beginning of summer 2022, we realized, okay, we need higher quality people and higher quality properties on the platform. So we have created now a new marketplace that we launched in July that is really a marketplace, but with tools built on top to help real estate investors sell their deals to people on the marketplace, to their buyers, wholesalers, buyers, or other people's buyers, people in your network, and to sell those deals to other people who have also brought their buyers to the network. So it's like a marketplace with a network built on top. And I'll just say one last thing on that network piece. I have never had success in business, whether it's the photography business or any of the things we've done in real estate or any of the real estate deals I've done. I've never had success unless I partnered with somebody who had a buyer or had the knowledge that I didn't have. So we're really trying to create TwnSqr to be a network where real estate investors can connect with one another, form a relationship with one another, and use each other's strengths and weaknesses to form a better partnership so that everybody benefits. So it's very much a marketplace, a one-trick tool, but then with a network built on top so that you can connect with other professional real estate investors.
So that's awesome. So, does this mean it could be a property that I own, actually physically own, and or have the contract on, and I'm looking to assign the contract?
Yep. Yep. We even say that if you have the ability to sell on-market property, if you have an agreement with the real estate agent or with the seller to sell an on-market property, as long as it's an investable property, we'll have it on the platform. But the majority of the properties that are posted right now are off-market, not involving a real estate agent.
Yeah, I see. Like, there's one wholesale. They're a wholesaler, but they're also a broker. I think they're New Western Acquisition or something like that. But they commonly buy off the MLS and then assign. So that would be okay to put something like that as long as you have the contract.
Yeah. We just, in our terms and conditions, say that you have to have the legal right to market the property. Otherwise, that's just breaking laws all over the place.
So as you just rolled this out, where are most of the properties in a certain geographic location, and now you're expanding to multiple markets? What does that look like?
Yeah, so we have properties right now on the platform in 42 states, but primarily in the South, the hot markets like Vegas and Phoenix, and then everything east of there that's Texas markets, Atlanta, North Carolina markets, all the Florida markets. We have some pretty active guys up in Detroit, Kansas City, and Indianapolis as well, but a lot of the volume is in those southern states.
So let's just say I have a property under contract here in Las Vegas. It's a great deal. Whether it was off market or on market, I have it tied up under contract at a great price. Now I'm not going to take this property down. I want to wholesale it.
Sure.
I upload pictures, description, square footage, bedroom count. Just walk me through what that process would look like.
Yeah, gladly.
Let's put my first deal on the platform.
Yeah, totally. So we're actually revamping this process right now. And offline, we had talked briefly about this. We're revamping this process of uploading a property right now so that it is underwritable by a lender. So we realized that just adding bedroom, bathroom, square foot, year built, maybe a couple photos, that's okay to pique somebody's interest, but it's not good enough for a lender to go out and truly underwrite on. So whenever you upload a property now, you can add basic information. Next week or the following week, whenever we make some giant updates, we have 5 sections of your post that we call it, that have a completeness score. So each post will have a 1 to 5 completeness score based on how many photos do you add? How long is your description? Do you have an inspection report? Have you uploaded your contracts to the deal? Have you added things like what's the condition of the HVAC system? Have you added condition of the roof? You can go really, really granular, and we give you a score based on how granular you've gone and how complete your post is. And we're doing that so that we can bring those deals to somebody like you, Beau, and say, hey, can you underwrite this? And then get a lender to commit to lending on it so that when a buyer looks at it, they know that there's a pre-underwritten loan sitting on it. Really using the hard money and lending atmosphere, or the actors in real estate, to be that final filter of whether a property is a good deal or not. So uploading a property is just a matter of filling out those 5 sections with as much detail as you possibly can. One of the most important things that we're adding is comps. So you'll be able to add rental comps or sold comps. So if you add a rental comp, it's what is the property that you're comping against rented for today. You add a sold comp, obviously it's what has that property sold for. So it's a myriad of things that you can add to a post so that a buyer, a potential partner, or a potential lender can look at that and say, this is a good deal, or this is a bad deal. I don't want to work with you on this.
Yeah, that's good. So, if it's a rent ready property, let's say, not a non-fixer, just, maybe it's a fourplex or whatever, what are the gross rents? What's the unit mix? There's, 4 2-bedroom, 1 bath. So we got the rents. What's the annual property taxes? What's the annual insurance? Now,
HOA, all that.
HOA. Now we know, hey, and then the buyer knows, hey, all I can do is, what's my credit score is the variable, because then you can do a DSCR loan for a 30-year, portfolio loan. If it's a fix and flip loan, here's the after renovated value comps, purchase price X, estimated rehab budget, and it's pretty, the benchmarking for that is pretty simple. So that's exciting. So somebody can quickly go on and go, okay, all the things I usually have to ask the borrower are here, right? Yep. And we know their credit score. And then on the fix and flips, it's good to know their past 2 or 3 years of, how many deals have you flipped, exited out of, because that's what every lender wants to know, because they do tier-based pricing. So yeah, this is pretty sweet.
Thank you. Yeah, we want the marketplace to be filled. Like I said, we started out with just dump everything you possibly can into TwnSqr. And at one point we had over 2,000 properties being posted per month. Now we're back down at around 600, 650 per month. But what we're really trying to do is, part of the features of TwnSqr is that I can bring a Las Vegas property to you, Beau, and say, hey, Beau, do you have a buyer for this? Do you want a partner? Do you want a JV on this? We want you in that situation, my buyer, if I have a buyer, and my buyer's lender or a lender in general, to be able to look at that property and say, yes, this is something that I want to partner with you on. This is something that I want to buy, or this is something that I want to lend on, and just from the TwnSqr post. So that's all high quality information and high quality properties.
So let's put my hat on that I'm the buyer now. I find a deal, it's a fourplex, and I can take that link. Can I take that link and then share it and say, hey, I'm going to go and put a deposit down on this property. I want to buy it. And I can take that link and I can share it with a potential JV partner, right? Like I'm going to have them come in with the down payment. And we already know, hey, we're going to be able to get a DSCR loan on this. And now I'm going to go JV and get the down payment. And hey, I just put a deal together in literally a few minutes. That's good, because everything's about efficiencies, right? It sounds like your marketplace is becoming more and more efficient, and that's what we need. The easier you can make things for people, even the lending piece. As I'm a lender, right? I have the same questions that I have to get answered every time. So I create emails and templates that are very simple. I need to know this, and this. So you're doing that as well as to build in as integration. So really the marketplace is really an efficient way to buy and sell real estate without brokers, without listing properties, which is great, right? Because as we know, off-market deals, unfortunately, most real estate agents, I should say most, there are 10, 15% of these agents out there that actually focus on working with investors and understand the investing game. I always told the agents when I used to have a small real estate brokerage, I used to say, the best thing you can do is buy and sell real estate yourself to be a better real estate agent. Yeah. If you're I want to do business with somebody that buys and sells real estate and is also a broker. If I'm buying in a different market, because then they at least know what I'm looking for, and they're not going to send me a retail deal when I'm looking for wholesale. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So what's the plans? What's the rollout? Where are we going from here? I mean, it sounds like you guys have tremendous, you got the ball rolling pretty fast now. Now, where's the growth going to happen? How are you expanding, and what are the next integrations?
Yeah. So our biggest feature that we're really proud of, and I'd love to get your opinion on it, Beau, honestly, because I think that you mentioning that stuff about JVs really, it resonates well with me and the platform. What we're really trying to capitalize on right now is making sure that users can connect with one another. The foundation is the marketplace. On top of that marketplace, you have to have high quality properties with enough information. What we're pushing users to do now is that connection piece. Where we're going is that connection piece. And what I mean by that is, if I have a deal in your neck of the woods, I can bring it to TwnSqr. I can add all that information like we just talked about. And then with our what we call post sharing tools that we're pushing people to use more and more, I can share that post with you. You can say, hey, Paul, this looks good. This looks like something that my buyers that I have uploaded to TwnSqr might want. And then you can determine if it's good enough. You can send it to your buyers via TwnSqr. And then if one of your buyers comes back and says, I'm interested, then you and I can JV on that deal. You can get a slice of whatever the profit is for bringing the buyer to the table. And we call that, like I said, post sharing. But I firmly believe that the foundation of those post-sharing deals, those JVs working out properly, is a high-quality post. So we're worried about creating a high-quality post, a high-quality property with enough information first, and then we're pushing our network of people into that, or a network of our users into that world where, hey, at least try what a partnership looks like.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you have a deal. Yep. And you're having trouble selling it to an end buyer or an investor buyer, and I'm going through the profiles. I mean, and I know, I have a investor buddy that loves this type of deal, and then so I'm kind of like wholesaling the deal essentially.
Yep. So, but I can reach out to you and I can say, you can upload your list of 10 people that buy deals in, I don't know, wherever, you name the place. You upload that list and you say, these guys on this list, they're interested in this area and this type of deal. And then me with my deal, I can go to the sharing tab and I can find Beau and see that you have 10 buyers. I can't see who those buyers are. And then I can bring that deal to you and then you can bring that deal on my behalf to your buyers.
And then I would just negotiate with you and just say, hey, if they buy, I'd like 20% of the fee or whatever.
That's right. Yep. So you essentially just get to sit back, maintain that relationship with your buyers and bring them high quality deals. Now you've spent no money on acquisitions and you just get to monetize your network or your buyers list.
And then those agreements between me and you though would be kind of, that's just whatever's negotiated, or is there like set?
Yeah. No, we don't touch any agreements. It's a policy that we have.
Right. You're the marketplace and technology. You don't deal with contracts or anything. So
that's right.
That would be between us. We would put a written agreement in place. Like, hey, if my buyer buys, you're going to make a $50,000 wholesale fee or whatever that is, and out of that, I'd like 20%. And we put a written agreement in place, and they end up buying it, and everybody's happy.
Yep. Even better. If you have that agreement that says, I want 20% of this fee, all you have to do is upload it to the room that we call it on TwnSqr. Between you and I, it's a chat room. You upload that agreement, you click request signatures, and we have signing processes built into the platform. You ask me to sign, I sign, and then that completed document is uploaded directly to that room. So now you have all the information about this property that you're bringing to your buyers in one place. So it's in that way, it's kind of like a disposition CRM built on top of a marketplace.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And the nice thing is, what about just as you're describing this wonderful marketplace, like if I sign up and get an account, is there a way I can have like a profile, almost like I would have on Facebook or something like that? Like, hey, my name's Beau. I'm a commercial finance broker, an investor. I buy rental properties in Indiana, and then what would be cool is that you could see, like, you could vet somebody pretty well. Like, you could understand they could go to my LinkedIn or the whatever. Like, this guy is legitimate. I would do business with him, right? Because that's always a sticky part. Are you guys ever going to develop something like that?
Oh yeah, yeah. So what we released in July, the tech world term is we released our MVP, our minimum viable product. And we put it out there and we got a bunch of feedback. And one of the biggest points of feedback that we got was trust of the deals, which we're tackling with those high quality posts and the completeness score. And trust of other users. How do you trust that I'm a good guy? How do I trust that you're a good guy without shaking your hand and going belly to belly and meeting in person? We're adding exactly what you're talking about. Those will be out before the end of the year. That is robust profiles with a video, social links, a description, reviews that other people have left on you and the transactions that they've done with you. So yeah, we're truly trying to create a network of professional, active real estate investors to be able to do transactions more efficiently on their deals.
And the nice thing is too is that they're eventually, like, if somebody's a stinker on the platform, they just get outs. They have no rights, and so
That's right.
everybody, it'll be transparent and like, hey, if you do what you say, you're going to do well on the platform. If you don't, we have no need for you, and you'll be exiled. Right? Like,
Exactly.
yeah,
Honestly,
but
yes, that's exactly what we're going for. I'm a big believer that networks are capable of managing themselves. In other words, you're able to tell the other network people that I suck. And I think that I should give you the tools to do that. And I also think that I should give you the tools to say, hey, I have never actually done business with Paul because all of his deals, they're no good also. So we're really trying to make it a place for professionals and active investors to truly connect and do business together.
and there's probably some opportunities for some eventually maybe some agents that, instead of, like, the client doesn't want to list the property, right? There's a lot of people. That's how, like, there's a lot of people that, like, they're hoarders, right? They don't want
Yeah.
to put their house on the MLS, but they want to just sell it to an investor. So even a savvy real estate agent might just say, hey, we're not going to list it on the MLS. Sign this document. I'll put it on the platform. You just give me the rights to do this. And then, essentially they would only have to pay one fee to,
Yep.
so there's opportunity there, I see, as well,
Yep.
because it's surprising how many of these. Everybody often wonders, well, why did that person not list the property? There's millions of factors, and the real thing is listen, this is their decision. They
Yep.
don't want to put it on the MLS. They know that they might take a little bit of a haircut, but they'll have ease of transaction, right? It's going to close quick. It's going to be somebody that's an investor that doesn't, like, not going to. They understand the process, so I see that as a viable kind of option too.
Yep.
Because I have a friend, he's like a real estate broker investor, and when he goes and meets with people, he says, "Listen, I can list it for you, or if you want to do it this way, I'll buy the contract, or I'll put the contract in my name. I'll write the offer, but I'm gonna end up wholesaling the deal." And a lot of sellers are good with that.
Yeah, they appreciate the transparency. I think that a lot of sellers, as more professional real estate investors come to the forefront, and it's not, maybe the right way of saying it is, the industry isn't frowned upon as much as it has been in the past. I think that these guys that act as hybrid, super transparent agents, brokers, and investors, I think that those are the guys that are going to win. One of our biggest clients is a company out of Nashville that's doing 1,500 deals a year. And of those 1,500, a lot of them are off market, but a lot of them are on market, where they're going to the seller and saying very transparently, I have a license to list your house. Here's what you can expect listing your house. I also have this other option, and I have these 10 other options that are creative finance and innovations and all this crazy stuff. But here are these two options that really will make a lot of sense. And they have a lot of success being super transparent like that, because at the end of the day, that's all a homeowner wants. So I'm excited for that
Yeah.
shift in the industry, if you can call it that.
Yeah, and what's exciting is we're going into another market. I mean, I know here in Las Vegas, our medium home price is down like 50 grand in the last 4 months. So
Yeah.
I think we're going back to a market where some people will get a little bit hurt. A lot of people that are over leveraged on flips. But now we're coming back into a market where I think investors that are been around, that understand the cycles, that have dry powder, like I see an exciting opportunity over the next 2 years, and I think it's platforms like yours are going to, like, reap the reward, because it's going to be a creative finance type deal, there's going to be subject to, you can put your sub two deals on these platforms, all these creative deals. So I think I think the opportunity is really going to blow up here. I think there's people that are, there's a lot of people that are worried right now but then there's the other group of people that are just saying, okay, this is going to be a great buying opportunity. Probably another good one since 2008, 9, 10, 11.
Yep.
We're finally seeing an opportunity where we're going to be able to actually buy deals that pencil out. So
Yep.
exciting times. Yeah, no, I love the technology. So you have two ways to join, right? You have a basic where there's a free, you can test the platform out, and then there's a paid version. Can you kind of explain the differences?
Yeah, totally. So our basic membership, we never want to limit somebody to you have to pay to post a property. If you just want to get your property on our marketplace, you don't have the intention of sending it to your buyers or your contacts via TwnSqr, and you don't have the intention of sharing it with another user via post sharing on TwnSqr. You just want to post it. That's free, and it always will be. You just want to get on the marketplace, you can sign up for a basic account and post it. And with a basic account, whenever it's live on the marketplace, you can take that URL that has all that robust information about your post, that has a post completeness score of 5, and it has been verified by our team, which we haven't talked about yet. But you can take that link with a free account and plug that into your MailChimp or plug that into your text messaging software. And you can use that free account and that link to send out your property in a very legitimate, professional way to your contacts. Now, if you want to use the tools that we've built on top of the marketplace to send out your deal to your contacts, and you want to take advantage of the signing technology that we have within the TwnSqr rooms, and you want to share your deal with other users and do that JVing, the post sharing that we walked through that hypothetical situation, then it's $149 a month, or it's $11.80 per year. So we're trying to keep it super affordable, because I believe that once we have the ability to show who the professionals are through those professional profiles and those professional posts, the hindrance, the hurdle should not be the cost of the platform. I want people to be able to connect in a very efficient way. And I think that maybe there's even a chance one day that if we can generate revenue through connections with hard money lenders or lenders in general, then why not open the platform up to everybody and just make the whole thing free if we can generate revenue in other ways?
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, the marketplace, it's really kind of a no-brainer. I mean, if you don't have a said buyer for this property, I mean, even like these wholesalers that are doing national deals, like there's some wholesalers that just stay in their markets, but there's a lot that they're marketing in like 10 different markets. They might not have the same buyer list in that market. Now we're just basically like the connecting people for deals, and also having like a systematized profile, right? Because I get inboxed by all these people with like different wholesale opportunities, and to be honest with you, everybody's got different formats. They put like the pictures in like a Google Drive. You can't go through the pictures. It's like now you've cleaned this all up, and now it's like I can go there. Everything's going to look similar.
Yep.
I know where everything is, and
if it's complete, if you have enough information.
Yeah.
That's the key to us, is that I want you, Beau, to be able to receive a text message from somebody that knows that you're an authority in your market, and you can say, oh, thank God, it's a TwnSqr link. I can see that it has a post completeness of 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 5. I know that I have all the information at my disposal. That's really what we're trying to build, is that confidence on your side as a potential partner or a lender or a buyer.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I mean, it sounds like your whole life you've been very entrepreneurial. Did you ever kind of have any W-2 jobs, or were you always just your own boss?
Thankfully, I've always been my own boss. I had one W-2 job right out of college. For 2 months, I ran the digital marketing for a women's shoe company. And my intention was to walk in on Tuesday. Why Tuesday? But walk in on Tuesday and quit, because I couldn't take it anymore. I did not like being somebody else's employee. I walked in on Monday and the entire team got fired and the company shut down. So I did get fired from my only W-2 job.
Well, that's cool. I mean, I think what do you think it was about you? Like, was it the way you were raised? I mean, what do you do on a daily basis to kind of like, seems like your journey's been pretty exciting. You've done a lot of cool stuff. You have a very successful photography business where you probably don't need to necessarily start another business, but um, what was in you that was, what did you do, or why are you who you are?
Yeah, thanks for asking. I give my network, my family, and the people around me a lot of credit. I've been very, very fortunate in my life to have very few hardships. My family has been so supportive of me. The support structure around me has been unbelievable. I'm so fortunate and privileged in that way. So I've always been entrepreneurial because I was able to ask my dad for a loan to go get a lawnmower to create a landscaping business whenever I was in high school. My parents helped pay for gas as I started doing my landscaping business in high school. My mom fronted me the money for my first insurance payment whenever I needed to pay for insurance on the drone company. So I've always been surrounded by people that support and believe in me. And yeah, I mean, I can definitely take some credit for like working my ass off and trying as hard as I possibly can and putting in 14-hour days, 6 days a week for the last 3 years. But I think that the support structure around me, my wife today, my parents when I was growing up, my brother who's always been entrepreneurial right next to me, my support structure and the people around me are really the things that have allowed me to get to where I am. There's no question about it. I mean, hard work is definitely a piece of it, but you need people around you to take care of you so that you can work your ass off, at
Yeah,
least in my opinion.
that's great. It always helps. It always helps when your support structure is there, right? Like, you look at some people that they have no support structure. They're up. It's so much more difficult. I mean, there's a lot of success stories with no support structure, but like I look at it, if I ever have children, it's like I'm gonna, support them every way I can, because as an entrepreneur, sometimes it's not easy, right? Like
Yep.
you have these ideas, maybe they take years to come to fruition, right? And so you have to be, as an entrepreneur, like as a real estate investor, I see all these
Yeah.
new real estate investors. It's like, guys, you see all these people making tons of money, but that's a very small percentage. It really takes a lot of grit, right? At the end of the day, there's no like secret formula. I mean, yeah, there's certain people that get lucky and, the first wholesale they do, they make six figures, but that's not the average person, right? And so, there's a lot of people that are trying to get into the real estate investor space, but I think it really comes down to like, networking, learning about tools. Like if you're a newer wholesaler and you don't have that buyer's list, I mean, here's a platform where you now have thousands of eyeballs where you didn't before.
Yep.
And if you can come in and kind of learn how the systems work and like, hey, and you have a kind of a benchmark of like, this is what a really good wholesale deal is going to look like because you're putting the pictures up, and everything's there. It kind of makes it easier for them, which is nice.
Yep. Yeah. And not only do you have eyeballs on the platform looking at those deals, but you also have, as a new guy, the ability to share your deal with other people that, like, I have shared deals with other investors and they have brought high powered buyers that I would never have access to. Even if I had that buyer's phone number in my phone, I would never have a shot of being like, hey, here's this deal. Do you want to buy it? Because I don't have a relationship with them. Using TwnSqr, you can leverage the relationship that a more experienced, more professional real estate investor has built with their buyers to your advantage.
Now, as a real estate investor, I know you're probably really busy. It's hard for you to also invest because you're spending so many hours. Where do you see the biggest opportunities over the next couple of years? In what space? Is it short-term rentals? Where would you focus your effort if you were just investing?
Yeah, I would, without a question, focus my efforts on long-term rentals because I think that if something pencils out now as a long-term rental, well, then it's probably going to work as a short-term rental. And when people come back and go on a lot more vacations and go in Airbnbs more, then you're going to have an awesome opportunity on your hands with a short-term rental. So I would focus on short-term rentals now and for the next the next 18 months and get some in your portfolio and then worry about short-term rentals and really starting to cash flow.
Yeah, and the other thing too is like people often wonder like, well, how am I going to get the money for the down payment? That's where you also maybe you wholesale 2 deals or 3 deals. You take that's your down payment. You buy one deal. So you might wholesale 3 or 4 deals to get some money to buy a rental. But if you keep on stacking the rental properties, right? Because you're on short-term active deals, you're taxed the highest. So
Yeah.
you want a combination of both. A lot of people out there also need that active income, that earned income. So, you can do some wholesale. I think if you're, everybody should thrive to be a kind of well-versed investor, meaning like you understand how to wholesale a deal, because sometimes maybe you have 3 flips going or something, and like you don't want to take on another flip, but there's a lot of meat on the deal, and you can make a nice fee for just signing a contract.
Yep.
I never got into wholesaling. I was a flipping and a buy and hold guy. But like something always says, man, it would be fun to just spend like a couple years wholesaling, because it's fast and it's fun, right? But it's not for everybody.
I'm thankfully I'm a part of a couple really big masterminds with some really high level people, I'm sure, just as you are, Beau. And the guys that are the most successful, whenever they walk into a room of 200 people, everybody says, oh, that's so-and-so. Those guys are the ones that they run a really, really efficient marketing machine that has 20 different pipes that come off that marketing machine. They know how to do novations. They know how to do long-term buy and holds. They know how to do short-term rentals. They know how to wholesale and get the highest prices because they have great relationship with their buyers. They know how to flip. They know how to sell to international buyers. The people that are revered in the industry are the true experts at many different options. And there's definitely some guys that do really, really well just sticking to one thing, like I just flip or I just wholesale. But when it really comes down to it, the guys that are the very best are the ones that have a tool belt full of 40 different tools.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Because every deal is different, and maybe it's not in your area, and you got to be efficient. And that's what I think the marketplace is going to do for people. Like it's going to make you more efficient. Like I said, I have a lot of experience in real estate. I've funded hundreds of millions of dollars in loans.
Yeah.
I bought and sold. I'm a real estate broker, right? But if I were to let's just say I buy and I get a investor carrot lead through my website, and those are in Indiana. I don't have a buyer's list there. What am I going to do? It's a great deal. I'm going to put it on your platform. I'm going to sell it. It's efficiencies. And that's all it is. So it's very exciting. So
thank you.
What do you do like when you're not, what do you do to develop your business mindset when you're not working in your business? Like, are you a reader? Are you a podcaster? What masterminds do you really love? And kind of go into that for a little bit here.
Yeah. So the one thing that has had the biggest impact on me since graduating college in 2016 and starting these various businesses, and not just having a landscaping business on the side while I was in high school and college, it was really difficult to understand myself emotionally and understand how to handle the world of business whenever I was starting a photography company and getting into this technology world and having to grow 20% month over month to satisfy venture capital investors that were raising money from. The one thing that really helped me through all of that is spending time in nature. And I know the guy with the man bun is now telling you to go out and stare at some trees, but really, I've always been outdoorsy. I've always enjoyed rock climbing and mountain biking and trail running. But I read this book 3 years ago called The Nature Fix. And the lady, her name is Florence Williams, who wrote the book. She used to live in Boulder, Colorado. I also used to live in Boulder, Colorado. It's a beautiful place, crazy mountain access right out your back door. And she used to live in Boulder, and then she moved because of her husband's work to Washington, D.C. And she felt this oppressive, why do I feel so gross? Why do I feel so negative? And she realized that it was because she didn't have any access to nature like she did in Boulder, Colorado. And I could relate a lot as I picked up that book, not really knowing what it was. I could relate a lot to how she was feeling being stuck inside, trying to grind on my businesses all day long, every day. And I kind of refound my love for nature 2.5, 3 years ago, right as we were getting started with TwnSqr, right as the pandemic hit. And yeah, what I do in my free time to make sure that I'm the most efficient, most effective business owner is I spend time in nature. Yesterday, I don't want to brag, but I ran up a mountain yesterday with my dog right as the sun was setting. And it's amazing. I can get back on my computer today and feel successful in other parts of my life because I was able to go for that awesome run at dusk yesterday. So I spend time in nature. I spend time with my family outside, doing really anything that I can outside to improve myself so that I can be the most efficient and effective business owner.
That's awesome. It's interesting. I was the other day, I came up with a great idea, and then I'm like, and then I thought about it. I go, I always come up with the best ideas when I'm either walking on the treadmill outside or walking on the treadmill in the gym,
Yep.
or taking a shower.
Yep.
And when you really think about it, it's because the mind chatter. Like, I know when I'm walking outside specifically, it's peaceful, and you can stop and think. And you when you're in front of your computer all day and your email's pinging you and your text is going, you don't have time to get into deep thought. And I think once you're kind of away from all that, you start walking and you're outside, and the fresh air and the sun is really, like game shift. Because like during the pandemic, I literally sat at my desk for and I'm fortunate, you're fortunate that we're busy and our businesses are growing.
Yeah.
But also we do need to take our time away from it, because that will make us a better entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And I love that was what you said. So I just want to congratulate you for recognizing the importance of, being outside. My one friend he grounds himself and he walks barefoot, because that has, there's a lot of stuff as entrepreneurs. We got to keep ourselves dialed in. If you just burn yourself out, you're not going to be efficient. And so you gotta be 100% when you're in front of the computer working hard and all that good stuff. So
your comment about walking outside, I just have to make a comment on that. It sounds ridiculous. And again, I know the guy with the man bun is telling you things about nature. But as a part of this like rediscovery and using outdoors as a way for me to like center myself and be a good business owner, I got really into this idea of just sitting in nature and how it affects you, and walking in nature and how it affects you. And your comment about just like being outside, in that book, it's called The Nature Fix. If I didn't mention that already, The Nature Fix by Florence Williams. In that book and in other studies, they've showed that just by looking at trees or things that are what they call fractal, quote unquote, where you have a trunk that then goes into a big branch, that goes into a small branch, that goes into a smaller branch, that goes into like a pine needle. They're all relatively the same shape. Or if you're out in the desert, you have little sand rocks that are on your shoes, then smaller rocks, then bigger rocks, then bigger rocks. And then you have these gigantic boulders that are out. Everything is relatively the same size, and it's all in your field of view at the same time. Just having your eyes, because we come from hunter-gatherers, having your eyes look at nature in that way reframes your brain in such a way that you're able to think more clearly. And then walking through that and constantly having that go through your peripheral vision, there is true hardcore science that says that actually helps you have creative ideas and think more efficiently. And it has lasting impacts up to 18 hours after you do it. So again, I know that it's woo-woo and it sounds a little bit crazy, but that idea of walking through nature, being in nature, and just allowing your eyes to absorb those natural things, it can have a huge impact on your business life. And it has for me.
That's awesome. You know what? As I get older and wiser, I learned that I learn the most from others, right? And people share, and that's what I love about the real estate investor community too. Like when I had my meetup last week, it's like the energy in the room. And I hadn't, because of COVID, I've been sitting at home and like I hadn't had that energy.
Yeah.
And when you get that energy, but a lot of my friends that are entrepreneurs, right? We share like these conversations I'm having with you right now. And that's what I suggest everybody does. You got to get around people that are, they are working on themselves, on the outside and on the inside, because unless we all do this, like you're not going to be fulfilled. What I've learned, like I hired a business coach, a performance coach. Like I invest back in myself, like, paying $100 and something a month to get the best platform I can makes sense, right? Like you gotta you got to make good decisions and moves in life, and just get around people that, like the whole outdoors thing. It just resonated with me just now. Like, you know what? Like, I'm not spending enough time outside.
Yeah.
And to be the best version of Beau, I need to do all these high performance activities, because if you
Yeah.
don't, you're not going to go through life. When I was in the Bay Area, I was working out with my friend, and it's like I was just watching how disciplined he is with the supplements, everything. And it's like he grounds, he walks, he studies this stuff, right? And like he's like he's trying to be the best version of himself. It's mental, physical.
Yeah.
And
And surrounding yourself with people like that is arguably more important than trying to learn to do it yourself. Seeing someone else have success with it, hearing about somebody else having success is arguably more important, because it helps you start and have more of a push. You can maybe listen to me or listen to you about these health things, mental health, physical health. And I'm a firm believer that hearing somebody talk about that and surrounding yourself with that kind of knowledge is the best way to start, rather than just saying, I saw this book on Amazon and I'm going to start reading it.
Yeah, that's cool. So let's where can people, so you guys go to TwnSqr. I'm going to put the link below, because it's can you tell them the domain, the URL?
Yeah, it's TwnSqr.com. So TwnSqr without the vowels. We're cool and techie like that.
And if people want to follow you, do you like them on LinkedIn or Instagram, or do you have a preference of where people can follow you?
Yeah, if anybody wants to connect with me personally, the best way to do that is via email. You can send me an email at paul@TwnSqr.com. You can find TwnSqr on all the different social media platforms. One of the things that I have recently offloaded from my team is social media management. So we just hired a new social media guy and he's killing it. So look out for TwnSqr, just TwnSqr, across all the various social media platforms. If you want to connect with us there, you can send us a message, send us a DM, or just come on over to the platform. And in the bottom right-hand corner of every single page, there's a way to chat and get directly in touch with myself or one of the members of our team to ask questions or get on a call with us about TwnSqr.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate your time. This was a great interview. It opened up my mind to, like, the possibilities out there, how you can really scale your business by using technology. And I think that's what, your background proves the point that's great. And you're definitely a visionary.
Thank you.
I'm excited to see your platform grow into a huge marketplace where, everybody knows the name, right? That's what's going to happen over the next 24 months. You'll definitely be the biggest marketplace out there in the space. Actually, I can't even think of any other marketplaces out there. So you're the only one I actually think of now. So
thank you.
So that's great. So it's
most
very
trusted.
exciting.
We're going for most trusted.
yeah. That's important, right? Most trusted. Like, what you see is what you get, and you can actually buy good deals on your platform. So that's exciting. So thank you so much for your time, and thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks, Beau.